127 West Claremont High School. I am your anatomy teacher, Mr. Grippa, and we will be going over the bones of the leg, ankle, and foot for quiz 3 of your Show Me, Don't Tell Me quizzes. Okay, so we'll start with the largest bone in the body. This is your femur, the thigh bone. A lot of people refer to it. The key structures to the femur, again, right or left. We have a right leg. So the easiest way to tell is, again, just like the humerus, the head of the femur is always medial. And then the way we tell which is anterior and posterior, we know that the lesser trochanter, which is this bump here, and the rounded condylar structures on the bottom of the femur are always to the rear. So this shallower pivot where the patella or kneecap will articulate is to the front or the anterior. So if we know this is front and this is medial, then this has to be a right leg, and this would be the right femur. So let's go over the structures that we need. We have the head of the femur, the neck of the femur, which is usually when people break a hip. This is where the break occurs. We have the greater trochanter. Remember, the trochanters are only found on the femur. The large one on top is the greater. The one underneath is the lesser trochanter. We come down to the bottom. Both of these are the articular condyles, the articular surfaces. So this one, because the head is medial, this is the medial condyle. This is the lateral condyle on the opposite side of the head. And the space, the depression in between, is called the intercondylar fossa. Remember, a fossa is a depression. Intra for intermediate. Intermediate means in between two things. So this fossa is in between the condyles. So it's named the intercondylar fossa of the femur. And the epicondyles, the bump here, is above. Remember, epi is above or upon. So epicondyle is above the condyle, and that would be this bump here, medial epicondyle. And then the bump on this side above the condyle would be the lateral epicondyle. Hopefully we can see that. Then we go to the patella, that's the kneecap. That's all we need to know. We don't have any other identifying structures on the patella. We just are going with patella. The next bone that articulates with the femur is the tibia. We see it fits here. And the top of the tibia, we see this process that sticks straight up. It actually fits inside, gives a nice surface for the tendons to hang on to, the ligaments to hang on to. And it helps anchor the knee. It fits inside the intracondylar fossa of the femur. So this point, these two little points here are called the intercondylar eminence because it fits inside the intracondylar fossa of the femur. The bump up front is the attachment point for the patellar tendon. This is the tibial tuberosity. And then down at the bottom, this process that sticks out the bottom, which would be what people would consider their ankle bone, that bump on the inside of their ankle. This is called the medial malleolus because the tibia is the more medial of the two bones in the lower leg. Here we have the fibula, and it can be kind of tricky to figure out which is the proximal end and which is the distal end. The proximal end is the head. It is a thicker, more rounded section of the bone and has that point on the top. So this is the head of the fibula. And then down here, to me, this is a flatter process down at the bottom, and this would be the knot on the outside or lateral of your ankle, and this would be the lateral malleolus. We then go to the foot, and we start with the bones in the ankle, commonly referred to as the tarsals. So the one that articulates with the bottom of the tibia, this is the talus. The big bone that makes your heel is called the calcaneus. In front of the talus is the navicular. Then we have the cuboid, which articulates with the small toe and the one next to it. So this one is unique because it has two toes that articulate with that one bone. And then these three bones are all known as the cuneiforms. Using our directional terms, the one to the inside of the foot is the medial cuneiform. The one furthest to the outside is the lateral cuneiform, and the one in between the two is, you guessed it, the intermediate cuneiform. And then we go metatarsals and the phalanges. So again, we have the medial cuneiform, intermediate cuneiform, the lateral cuneiform, the cuboid, which has the two toes articulating with it, the navicular in front of the talus that has the articular surface for the distal end of the tibia, and then the big heel bone is the calcaneus. Okay? Hopefully that helps everyone do well on quiz 3 of the Show Me Don't Tell Me quizzes, and the next video will feature the bones for quiz 4.